Hi.
Hi.
So this second season starts in the third act. It's super fast because the ending of the previous season. And one of the things that I love about the show is humanize politics. There's something different that you had a conversation with Deborah prior everything started to shooting, to humanize, to give some humor to this political environment.
Well, I don't think we talked to Deb about it, but I think naturally because you have more space in a second season. The first season, you're sort of establishing the world. So even though the stakes are so high second season, I think there is more, we know the characters now a little more. So there's room for these moments, these flashes of vulnerability that we didn't have as much time for in the first season, I think.
That's true. I think in the first season, I did have a conversation with Deborah about that because I assumed that my character would be a certain way, and probably assumed there would be something quite robotic about him in a way, just because of the politics and the way that my character was leaning with his politics. And Deborah literally said, what happens if you take you and put yourself in that position? All of the care, all of the thought about where you're from as the child of immigrants to this country, now in the room making policies that you know will affect some of the people, some of your family, some of the people, some of the story that you've been in. What does that feel like? So for me, that was an interesting space and actually made me really excited about and intrigued to do this part. So yeah.
You say something interesting about being robotic because the two characters, they pretend to be serious, but they love. I also like the flirting, the tension, the sexual
He gets to
tension.
flirt a lot on the show. All David does is flirting. When he's talking about character prep, he's like, I'm gonna figure out how to flirt.
What are you talking about? Yes. Yeah, no, but it's interesting, isn't it?
Because besides the political situation, they also put relationships.
Yeah.
And relationship somehow is also political.
Always,
Yeah.
it's all about power. Everyone is figuring out power struggles. Where do you stand compared to this person? What's your positioning? It's very related. There's a lot of overlap.
And you have to put in risk losing because it changed the definition of being an ally.
Yeah.
It changed that definition and changed the definition also of enemy and ally.
Yeah.
Because you have a relationship in this workplace, you have to put on risk that relationship for the sake of whatever your goal is.
Yeah.
When you read the first time the script, do you imagine your character as because we have a picture of a CIA agent?
Yeah.
And
No,
we
I
have
didn't.
a picture of a minister. Like
Absolutely not.
How was it?
I mean, I was like, no one's gonna buy me as the head of the CIA. I was like, are you sure you want me? Like, I didn't think I fit, and but that's part of, I guess, the leap of faith that also Deb takes in casting and sort of seeing something that you can bring that is surprising, maybe. I mean, my big question after watching the first season was asking my friends, like, so do you buy me in this part? Like,
Really?
yeah, 'cause,
I do.
Oh, great, good.
And
All right,
me too.
All right, box check then. Great.
Yeah. I think it is really good casting by Deborah, and that's the thing. You may not have had that conversation in the beginning, but I feel like she draws that out, the essence of you. How do these words live and breathe within
Well, she's
you?
got a good eye, that Deborah Khan.
She has got a good eye. I can't remember. Remind me of your question again.
It's about you see yourself in your character before when you were reading, because we have the idea of a minister.
Yes, I remember now. So also my character is a Tory minister. So I had an idea of how Tory ministers think, speak, behave, and Deborah was very good at saying, well, actually, David, there is different essences and nuances in Tories, which would be like Republican and Democrats. So what happens if you live in that space? A bit like what I was saying earlier. So
You're making Tories appealing.
cut that. I'm making people and old-fashioned politics appealing, where we weren't so
You're
binary.
humanizing the politics.
I think it's important that actually, like, to not just think all of this is going to be wrong and all of this is going to be right, because I think that's see, I'm doing it again. This is what I do with my wife. I become a Democrat. I become a diplomat.
That's beautiful.
Thanks,
Thank you
bud.
so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations. A
Thank
great
you.
show.
I'm so glad
Really
you watched the
appreciate
whole thing.
I did.
Which
And
that ending, huh?
you'll see it. Thank you.